Hey Val Hunters, and welcome back to another Borderlands 3 video. It finally happened. I finally got an Amara class mod thanks to the exploit that I do with PS4, and you can also do it on Xbox with the Iridium chest in Lilith's room. Where pretty much, it's probably the best legendary legendary class mod farm that I have seen. I posted it yesterday if you guys want to go check that out. It's honestly probably one of the best legendary farms other than for like boss specific loot. But jumping right into the build, first I have 5 points and a do no harm. This build's all about getting rush stacks and basically getting over like 600% weapon damage. In this video, or later on in this video, I am fighting Grave Ward, and I have basically 50% gun damage and also 45% to elemental resistance, minus 45% elemental resistance, and then I also have SMG. So there's a huge debuff and kind of a pretty good buff that helps me out, but for the most part it's a major debuff towards the towards my Amara, but I kind of show you how well I still shred them, and I'm just showing you guys different damages, so later on in the video you guys will get to see that. From there, you want to put 3 points into fast hands just for extra reload speed, weapon swap speed, especially if you're doing that Jacob's pistol exploit that a lot of people are doing to basically one-shot anything. Violent Tapestry for put 5 points into here, just to give yourself another 100 rush stacks so you get increased weapon damage. Transcend, mostly because you get accuracy, but we're just looking for that 27% crit, and while activating your action skill. Relentless, just for the cooldown when you are mobbing and stuff. This really helps, especially with Phase Grasp. For the most part with Phase Grasp, when you're going through any slaughterhouse or anything, I don't really focus on survivability, because for the most part you should just be killing just about everything really quick. Laid Bare, mostly because you get that damage increase with your action skill. And then Wrath, just for extra gun damage, and then another 20% after action skill use, so just a huge amount of DPS there. Avatar, mostly because you get extra bonus rush stacks, plus you can activate your Phase Grasp again after activating it the first time, so this keeps up with your DPS with these two perks, plus Phase Grasp is always up, so this just helps it keep it up even more. It's honestly ridiculous. Going over to the red tree, you want to put 5 points into Anima. As you can see, my class mod actually puts another 3 points into there, just for extra status effect damage and duration, and action skill status effect damage. It's not that big of a deal, but I guess it helps. 5 points in a Tempest to get elemental damage and 20% shock damage. I mean, you can't go wrong with this perk whatsoever. 5 points in a Wildfire, just because when you are actually mobbing, this kind of helps with your rush stacks, because you won't be able to do what I do in this boss fight for the most part if there's enemies around you. If you hit Phase Grasp when there's an enemy around you, it will grab that enemy. But like for a boss like this, Phase Grasp doesn't work technically. It doesn't actually hit him, but it does. This does help for general mobbing and keeping up your stacks. I put 1 point into Dread just for the extra gun damage while enemies are grasped. And when you kill an enemy, you automatically reload your weapon, which is overall really nice. Deep Well, just for your extra 20% magazine size with elemental weapons. With Amara, I don't see you using anything else other than elemental, so go with that. Indiscriminate, mostly because you this will help with your DPS when you do phase grasp enemies. I mean, the ricochet is really nice, and the action skill ricochet chances helps even more. With phase grasp, you want to go ties that bind, just to just to link all the enemies, so you can basically do massive damage to one, especially if you line up headshots, and pretty much anything else that you phase grasp will just instantly die. It's really nice. Uh, Actually, let me just go over to manage. It won't tell me. Never mind. And then in the middle, I actually go stillness of mind, mostly because when you do phase grasp that one enemy, it will phase grasp every other enemy that it's basically linked with, and they are all suspended up into the air. This just helps so you're not getting shot at, when you're trying to line up a shot or whatever. It's really nice to have. Some people go into allure, but I don't really care for the creating the singularity to pull enemies. It doesn't really seem to work out all that much. And then I just run Incinerary, because I can't get corrosive damage, and there's nothing else to really put into the slot, so just run Incinerary. I mean, it helps. You can see the damage is not really that much, but yeah, that is the build, guys. And jumping over to actually, I'll show you guys real quick if you guys just want to copy it. But this is honestly probably the best DPS character, I think, in the game right now. She's honestly ridiculous, guys. I don't think how her phase grasp is supposed to be attended like this, but even if it's not, like, if you're facing, like, even if they change it and you have to go phase cast to basically hit Grave Ward, you can do that. It's pretty easy, but right now, since they haven't fixed this, just run phase grasp and then cast it every once in a while like I do in the video. But once they do fix it, just go phase grasp and just, maybe, I guess, change up the second perk with something that maybe increases the damage dealt, or, increases the damage that you do. I mean, there's a couple different selections you guys can choose from, but right now, just go phase grasp. I go, nothing in the green tree. So, weapons, I mean, pretty much anything works with her. I mean, you can go Lucian's Call, freaking double penetration, shredded laser exploder, binary mocking cutsmans. Any hostile crossroads are just really nice to have. The butchers is just insane. Lyuda is pretty much insane with any character. Right now, I just have the transformer just for a little bit extra survivability. But the class mod is what really makes it. The primordial spectral phase zerker. It would be really nice if I could maybe get 4 points into the time glass to increase your elemental damage, and then maybe 1 into, I think it's I can't remember the name of it, Conflux. I mean, if I can get maybe another one in here and just take away from clarity, but that's right now, as of right now, the class mod. And really, the class mod isn't really helping me with damage other than Hyperion weapons, only by 10%. So if I could get, like, maybe weapon damage, or just really just better stats than what's really on here. I mean, I got 2 stats for accuracy. Honestly, kind of sucks. Lucky elemental projector. As you saw, that I was not even lighting myself on fire or anything. You guys can light yourselves on fire to basically, I mean, give yourself an extra 200% elemental damage. It's not really needed with this build, but if you guys just want to go in and basically meld the boss in seconds, be my guest, run the Super Ball or whatever people have been running at level 22, but I just haven't. And right now, I just have a Merv Hex Grenade on. I really want a Hex Grenade for Frost, because most Slaughter Shafts other than like the Beast Slaughter Shaft. Beast Slaughter Shaft, I think Firestorm is probably the best grenade, but all the other ones, you'll run into enemies with armor, or I forget what it's called, but you'll run into a bunch of badasses with armor, and the ice grenade will help with that. And pretty much this Murphex grenade will help against Malawan, so I mean, it's still a really nice grenade to have. But mostly this is just what gives you guys your highest DPS. I mean, for each rush stack you get 3% weapon damage and 10% action skill cooldown based on the number of rush stacks. And with this build, you're pretty much always going to have over 200 rush stacks. I think technically it's 225, so you're pretty much increasing your overall DPS with weapons by 675%. It's just a massive amount of damage, guys. It's insane. But yeah, we're gonna jump into the boss and show you guys how this runs, and I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you. Okay, real quick, I don't think I show you guys this until after I switch weapons, but I do have minus 50% gun damage, minus 45% elemental resistance, so that's pretty much almost like a 90% debuff to my weapons. And eventually I do switch to an SMG, the Cutsman and Hostile Crossroad. I figured I could use the Lyuda, but it just didn't really cut out, because I also had minus 50% radiation damage. If I didn't have 50% radiation damage, the Lyuda probably would have destroyed them, even with my extra 675% gun damage. But yeah, I eventually do switch over to those two SMGs. Mostly just trying to test out all the DPS that this build actually has, excuse me. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy the video, as always, please like, subscribe, turn on notifications. I post Borderlands 3 content daily. I try to keep up with all 4 of my builds. I'm still currently working on Zane, so hopefully I'll have that out for you guys real soon. And I really do hope to see you guys in the next one. Thank you, and have a good day.
Nothing to it.